Hello, my name is Nelli. I work as a foreign language teacher in Exupery International School, Latvia. So this is the game based on classical game Snakes and Ladders. It can be used for language development, for mainly for language development, yeah. So the amount of players is not limited. If you have a big class, you can set the field on the floor, not on the table. But let's look at it in this scale, like if it's a board game. So you have some figures. For example, 2, they start from the beginning of the field. And the game starts with the first player drawing the card. The card has some profession. Again, the task can be different depending on the level of knowledge of your students. For example, if these are the beginners, first of all, they have the picture, not only the word. And for example, the task can be to name 3 words connected to this profession within 1 minute, 30 seconds. Again, this depends on the level of your students. This is the subject for diversification of your lesson. So let it be firefighter. So 3 words about firefighter: fire, water, house. Okay, done. You have 3 words and you move 3 steps forward. If you gave 5 words, you move 5 steps forward. If you get to the ladder, you get a salary raise and you get up. If you get to the snake, you get fired and you go down. This card goes back to the pile, and the next player draws the next card, and the task again is the same. Name as much words as you can connected to this profession within 1 minute, half minute, and so on and so forth. Then the first player draws the card. And the thing is that one and the same player draws new card on each of his turn. So you don't play for one profession during the whole game. And the winner is the person who reaches the end first. And also you can incorporate the counting of the points and all other criteria that are meaningful for your subject, for your unit, and so on. So I guess this is the main mechanics of this game: professions. One of the easiest games you can imagine, story cubes. At the same time, this game has the vast variations, number of variations. So you can use it as an icebreaker or for storytelling. Let me show you one of the ways that you can use this game for storytelling activity. Let's say you have 3 groups of kids. I think 3-4 kids in a group is enough. And let me be the first group. I roll the dice. And I have 3 pictures: a torch, fountain, and the theater masks. And the aim of this variation of the game will be to make a short story in which each team has to give 1 chapter of the story. So my aim will be to tell a story based on these 3 pictures. I can put them in any order. I cannot change sides though. So I need to come up with a small chapter for this story. The next team rolls dice and they have to tell the second chapter of the story. It must contain all these pictures and must be connected to my part of the story, to the first chapter. And the third team does the same, but their aim is not only to connect to the previous part and to use all the pictures, but also to come up with the ending of the story. So this is one of the ways that you can use this game for. You can go to the website of the game and find a lot of other ways to use these cubes. And one more thing, that these cubes come in all shapes and colors. You can find like general collection, travel collection, animals collection, time travel, and so on and so forth. That's the game Story Cubes. Okay, this is a well-known classical board game, Cluedo, also known as Cluedo. It is different from the classical one because this is junior variation, so no one gets killed. But the problem here is that guests come to the mansion and there's a cake because there's someone's birthday, and they found out that someone ate this cake, so cake disappeared. And the aim of this game is to find out who ate the cake, what drink he drank with the cake, and when did it happen. So who, when, and what was the drink. The mechanics is quite, maybe, it's not that super easy, but you can find rules of this game online. It is super, very available. But long story short, participants take parts and they move the characters of the game. And depending on the ending position of the steps, you can either look under the white cap and to exclude some time. So if you look under the cap and you see that there's 5 p.m., it means that the crime didn't happen at 5 p.m. So you can exclude this. Or you can look under the cap under the yellow cap and to find out what drink you can exclude. So this is the chocolate. So it means that the chocolate was not in this crime. So at the end of the game, the team or the player who thinks that he is sure about who, when, and what was the drink just makes an assumption, and he says, I think Miss Scarlett ate the cake at 1 p.m. and she drank lemonade. Then you check under Miss Scarlett, you check this clue with the time, and you check the clue with the drink. So this is very short description of the basic rules of the game. But we're here not only for basic rules, but also for some educational added value, language added value. And you can find it by asking students not only to enter the rooms, but also, for example, to count steps. So if you're into numbers, you say you have to count steps. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is for the very beginners in language. You can ask students to name as many objects, actions, colors, shapes, sizes when they enter the room. For example, if I enter the room and I am the beginner, I can say, like, name object, table. I know that table is there. And as I name the object, I get a token. Yeah, object. And I, as a player, I managed to name the object. If I'm more like a proficient player or English language learner, I can come into the room and say, Mrs. White, person, enters the room. So action. Yeah, and she sees, which is one more action, a wooden or yellow, which is color, table, which is object. Okay, so my language proficiency allows me to get 5 tokens on this turn. Okay, so depending on the level of your students, you may introduce those tokens and to set different criteria, what they have to name when they come into the room. So at the end of the game, you have 2 dimensions of winners. One is a group or a person who solved the crime, who got to know who was the criminal, what was the time, and what was the drink. And another dimension is a person with the largest amount of tokens. And of course, it's a good idea to analyze if a person managed to name 10 actions, but there is no objects or no colors and no sizes, which it can show you the areas of growth for the student. That's Clue the game. Clue the Junior. Enjoy. What do you mean? This is the name of the game that can be played on the core rules that you will find in the box, Also, you can use a customized version of this game to fit your specific educational needs. Let me show you both ways of how you can use this game. So first, and the basic rules are the following. You draw a card. I don't like it. Sorry. So this, it's a good. So you draw a card, and each card is a visual base for the meme, for the joke. Team or a player, depending on the amount of your group, gets 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each card contains possible punchline for this joke. So, memes never come only with the picture. It's always a picture and a punchline. So, each card has one punchline. You don't reveal your cards to another group, and the judge of the game, let's say teacher or one of the students, sets 1 minute, 2 minutes, again, depending on how your students are trained, depending on the group. Let's say we have 30 seconds to find the punchline that will make this meme just the bomb on the internet. So what do we have? A squirrel. When one of your parents admits you. Okay. Each group chooses the best joke. And then you reveal them. So my punchline was, when one of your parents admits you were right. So this is your face. And the joke of the other team was, when your friend's bedtime is later than yours. Okay? And the judge has to decide whose joke was the most, internet worthy. These are the basic rules. And again, you can find variation even in these basic rules. How you can apply it to some specific grammar, for example. Let's say you're explaining your students the comparative adjectives. Yes, big, bigger, the biggest. You assume that they know the rule. And the aim now is to take a textbook, to find the rule. So this is the rule. Here I have it explaining how we use big, bigger, the biggest, how we use this rule. And you draw a picture again. And the task here for students is to come up with the punchline which will somehow deal with this rule. I cannot speak for students what they will come up with, because they are really good at this. Memes is something that they are really into, so they come up with all sorts of jokes. Let's say here it can be, one group can come up with the phrase when you think, is it the most big or the biggest? You see? So this is somehow they need to be creative about the rule that they already know. And again, teams reveal their answers. They write the punchlines on the separate paper, and they reveal it to the judge. And the judge says, oh, your joke is the best. So I like your joke, really. And the teacher on this activity, he can see if the students obtain the rule, if they understand it, how and what they can build upon the rule, like what's the level of the understanding of this particular grammar. So once again, what do you mean? A great game can be used in various ways as a core game or to unpack grammar rules. So, in case if you don't know what is the most annoying game in the whole world, the game is Halligalli. Why? Because it has the bell. and the kids are really into the bell. The game that I'm going to show you is based on the mechanics of Hali-Gali game. And you have a pile of the cards. Again, depending on your topic, on your vocabulary, on your educational aims, you will have your sets of cards. These are customized. I made it myself. And this particular pile is designed to train plurals, to making regular and irregular plurals. In this pile, I have pictures with the words, and I have cards with numbers. So the main aim of the game is to collect all the cards from all the players. Now I will show you shortly how kids can do this. Let's say I play with a partner and I have only one partner in this game. Our piles are in front of us. And we open the piles one by one. So I open and I have 3. My partner opens and he has 7. In such case, the number, nothing happens. We continue opening the cards. I open and I have 4. My partner has window. This is when magic happens. So if the object and number are revealed, the aim of any player is to press the bell and to name the right plural form. So 4 windows. It doesn't matter who has revealed cards. If you don't have any numbers or you have object or you have number, it doesn't matter. If you see that some cards match, you press the bell, and the person who is the first to press the bell and to name the correct form for windows gets all the cards that are revealed at this time. If you press the bell, but there is no match, or you name, or you give the not correct form, not correct answer, you have to give one of your cards to each of the players. So this is like a penalty. So again, tooth. Oh, it's a good example because tooth is irregular. And 1. Again, number and object. You need to press the bell and be the first and say 1, tooth. Okay, let's go on. 2. 2 teeth. So the pile also contains irregular nouns in terms of plural form. Okay? As is that. Kids really like pressing the bell, and this game is very emotional. And when emotions come, as you know, students learn the best. So I would say that this classical Dixit game can be used for advanced English language learners or for native speakers for storytelling activities. So Dixit is a game of association. It comprises the board, the figures, minifigures with the sweet little rabbits, and the tokens for voting. Also, there are super strange cards. I like saying about them as these are dream cards, because the logic is also like you have some general objects, but they are in very unusual situations. Yes, so cards that can be read really differently, and every person might have some different associations with this card. And associations is actually what this game is about. So let's say we have 3 players or 3 teams. Again, this game can be played in small teams also. Each team gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Teams don't have to reveal the cards to other teams, but have just to look at them. So let's say that I am about to start and I'm the blue rabbit, and I choose one of my cards. See, this is my choice. You may look at my cards. And I look at the card and I want to choose this one. And I can say, okay, let's say bad weather. This is my association with this card. It's rather straight, but for the beginners, it will work. And I reveal this card saying my association. No, sorry, I put it blindly. So I say bad weather. All other teams have to look at their cards and to find the card that fits best into the association bad weather. So teams have different cards. and they have to choose, where is the bad weather here? Let's say this. And another team looks, what is the bad weather here? And they say, this is bad weather. Then we mix the cards so that we don't know. We reveal the cards. And now teams have to vote. So they have these tokens. If I was the first to put the card, I cannot vote for myself. I can only vote for two other teams or players. So I'm the blue rabbit, and I take one of my blue tokens and I put it to the card which, as I think, fits best into the bad weather association. Let's say I think that this card fits best, so I put one, again, blindly, because this is the first card. Put blindly it, saying I made my choice. Then team number 2, the white team, says what they think, and then team number 3 says what they think. And we reveal the tokens now. We have 2 voices for team number 2. We have 1 voice for team number 1. And look at me, no one chosen my card. How's that possible? So if your card was voted, your rabbit moves. If your card was voted twice, your rabbit moves twice. If no one voted for your card, you just don't move. If you guessed who was the original, whose card was the original one, you also make a move. And so now you take turns, and another team chooses the card and names the association. At the end of each turn, each team has to refill, so that at the end of the turn, each team has 6 cards. Again, this game must be like tricky for the little ones, but for more advanced learners, it can be a really enriching experience for storytelling.